What's up guys, Sparky Off-Road here, and today we're putting 5th gen suspension on this piece of shit 3rd gen. Let's go. Okay, so I hope the video's okay. I can't really watch as I'm recording like I normally do because the GoPro I usually use has a nice big scratch on the screen right where the camera's at. I don't know if you can see that on here or not. So I'm just kind of winging it. For some reason this GoPro, which doesn't have a screen on it, won't connect to my phone. I'll figure that one out later. But anyway, here is what we are doing today. So these parts right here, this is a stock suspension setup off of a 2021 Toyota 4Runner. It's just the normal SR5 one. It's not like a TRD off-road or anything, so it's nothing that special, but this only has like 3,500 miles on it. This suspension has over 300,000 miles on it, and it is wore out. Every time I hit a bump in this thing, I bottom out the rear end, and I'm getting tired of it. Also, the 5th gen suspension is supposed to give you about an inch to inch and a half lift. So we're going to test that out today. So the parts you'll need from a 5th gen, you can use the rear coils. I'm pretty sure you can use the rear shocks. We're going to test that out. But you cannot use these front coils or struts. But if you put the front coils on 3rd gen struts, you can use them, which is what we're doing today. So there's not really very many videos out about this, and I've only seen a couple posts on the Facebook page for these things about it, and I haven't really seen anyone use front and rear. I've seen people use only the rear, and I've seen a couple people use only the front, so they should work fine together using both. But we're going to go ahead and get a measurement now with where this thing's sitting. I don't know if you can tell, but it is squatting a little already, and the only thing back there is the spare tire and a set of rock sliders for this thing that we're putting on in a different video. So let's get that measurement, shall we? So I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this from way over there, but here on the driver's side, from the concrete to the bottom of the flare, is 35 inches. Pretty much right on the money. And over here on the passenger side, we're also at 35 inches. So it's not leaning one way or another, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go find a hair tie, change my shirt to my working on truck shirt, and we're gonna get this thing up in the air and start removing stuff. Okay, so looking back here, looks like I definitely have to take the shocks off to let it move enough to get the springs out. I'm not sure if I have to take the sway bar off to do that also or not, but let's find out, I guess. Okay, we got the shocks unbolted. Now let's see if it will drop down enough to pull them springs out. And no, we got exactly the same amount of travel. I guess let's take the sway bars off now. Okay, so this bottom bolt's a 14. And this top bolt's a 12. Or I should say nut, not bolt. Get some extra leverage on it. Wasn't very nice, Mr. 14. Okay, I guess you don't need that bottom one. Would you stay on there, please? Thank you. I'm getting some wicked angle on that. I think that might be breaking, but full send. Well, that's removed. Okay, this side's less rusty, and in typical Why Not fashion, this one's a 13, not a 12. Oh, looky there, that one wasn't even tight. Kind of like my gas tank mount. Nothing was tight on it, it's just over there flopping around. It's probably half the noises I'm hearing. Okay, of course the camera fell right before the bolt came off and ruined the damn shot, but now let's see if we got enough travel. I think we got a little more. What the hell is stopping it? Okay, so according to Google, I got everything loose that I need to. So I think it's just that the spring is rusted to the axle. Yeah, like that. Another jackets. Yay. Shot. Yeah, like that. Okay, so according to Google, the top of that shock is a 14 millimeter. You just take your 3/8 14 millimeter deep drive, put it on top of there, kind of crank it loose, and then you just turn the shock to get it out. Sounds easy enough, but I live in the Rust Belt, not fucking California, so this will obviously be harder than it should be. Yay. Okay, well, thanks to our buddy Mr. Rust, shock won't come unbolted. I got it cut off, but that piece still won't come out. So now I got to cut it through the bushing and cut that bolt, and hopefully then it'll pound out. But it's pretty smoky, so I had to grab a fan. Also forgot to press record when I was cutting the shock off, because I'm a genius. So, well, here we go. So I got the other shock partially installed in the truck. There you can see it. The bottom side fits fine. The top side, however, this little ring right here does not fit in the notch in the spring, or the shock holder, shock mount, whatever you want to call it, in the frame. So the two options I see are take a unibit and make the hole in the shock tower bigger, which is what I would prefer to do, but I can't find a unibit big enough here at the father-in-law's garage. So instead what I'm going to do is cut that ring off. That way I can get the nut on there and get these bolted in. So yeah, this little ring right here, she's going bye-bye. You know what? That don't look too bad. I don't even think we'll have to hit it with the grinder. And because I live in the Rust Belt, I put some black paint on those. When I do the first gen frame, I'm going to do this one too, because this one's actually in good shape for the third gen in Ohio. So don't yell at me for not cleaning everything up while I'm down there. I'm going to do it, just not today. So while I'm waiting for that paint to dry, I figured I'd show you the difference between the third gen stuff and fifth gen stuff. I do find it kind of ironic that the 5th gen springs are shorter, but they are thicker and weighted for more weight. Weighted for more weight, wow. I can't talk. Rated for more weight, not weighted for more weight. But then you get to the shocks. The shocks are a good bit thicker and about 2 inches longer. So if I don't put the sway bar back on, I think that could potentially lead to a little more flex in the rear than it had before. Then, like I said, I still have to take the front apart. I have to figure out which of these paint codes is for which side, unless it says it on here. I'm not seeing it, so I'll have to figure out what the difference between the green and white and the orange and white are. That way I can put those springs on the right, or correct side, when I get to the front. But this rear has been giving me pain in the ass. This was supposed to be an hour job and I'm like 3 hours into it. Thanks, Rust Belt. But we got her figured out, and she's going back together here real soon. Okay, well, it took some work, but I finally got them in there. So I had to trim a little rubber on the top bushing of the shock to get the nut started. But it's in there now. The spring, I don't know why my rear end won't go all the way down, but that should be, unless you live in the Rust Belt like me and your shit's fucked up, that should go in easy. A lot easier than it did for me. So let's do the other side and see where we're sitting at. Okay, so the rear's done. It sits higher than the front now, which is different because it always kind of did the opposite. I'm gonna hold this camera instead of sitting down this time, see if that's any better. Right under 36 on this side. And the same here, just under 36. So it was just a little under an inch of lift with the load that's back there, which is wheels and rock sliders and stuff. Now to turn this thing around and work on the front. Okay, so I took it down to the end of the road and back, and it rides so much better now. Now to do the front. I really need new front struts, but I don't have the money for that at the moment, so I'm just going to do this, and that'll probably fix it some just because it's a heavier spring rate. Now let's do the measurements for the front. This side, I don't know if you can see that, but it's sitting on a little edge because this part of the concrete sits lower than that for whatever reason. So the measurements will be different this time. Like this one's at 35 3/4. Let's see what the passenger's at. Or driver, sorry. Car's turned around. This one's at 35 1/4. So, hoping 36 1/4 and 36 3/4 over there, which means that did give me an inch of lift, and all this time I'm about to spin in the front wasn't a waste of time. Well, sorry about that, guys. The GoPro batteries died, but I got it all done. For the front, all you got to do, you need a spring compressor, and it is going to get a workout because you got to take the coils off of the 5th gen struts. Then you have to remove the coils from the 3rd gen, or not the coils, but the struts from the 3rd gen. Remove the coils from the 3rd gen struts, and then put the 5th gen nice shiny coils that are taller and thicker onto the 3rd gen stuff. There, you can see it in there, hopefully, maybe, sort of. I don't know where the flashlight went. Should probably put it away already. Oh, there it is. I lied. There, now you can see it. Oh, shiny black. It's just 3 bolts on the top, 1 bolt on the bottom of the strut. You don't have to take the A-arms or anything apart. You do have to jack the car up, obviously. I don't know if I showed that before the camera died or not. But now that it's done, I don't remember what any of the measurements are, so can't tell you if it lifted it or not until I'm editing the video. But here we go. So here we still have that ledge here, so this measurement's probably not going to be real accurate. But we're at 36 1/2. I thought we were at like 35 3/4 maybe. It's about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch of lift, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And this side, which has a more true measurement, 35 1/4. I did drive it forward and backwards in the garage a couple feet each way to try to settle the suspension because I can't get out because everyone parked behind me. But yeah, so hopefully tomorrow I can tell you how much better it rides or doesn't, how much better it doesn't ride. That doesn't sound right. How much better it rides, or if it doesn't ride any better. That sounds better. Let's go with that. I'm tired. It's been a long day. But lift is done. It looks taller in the front, so I'm pretty sure it lifted it. Although I cannot for the life of me remember what the numbers are. So the next video will be getting these rock sliders right here welded on. Going to my buddy's shop to get that done. Then I'm picking up a set of tires for those rims. I know they're ugly. I'll probably sand them and spray paint them black. They're just stock 4th gen 4Runner rims, nothing special. But I needed 17s for tires, so those will work. I'm keeping these for dailying on, so this will be the daily setup. Just imagine sliders right there. And then the mud tires that I'm picking up hopefully later this weekend, excuse me, will be for when I go off-roading. So yeah, have a good one, y'all.